Hi, my name is Miss Tabor, and I am with the upper elementary teacher and the middle school teacher. And we will be talking about our vision for the coming school year. If we need to do distance learning, and we're going to be talking about what that looks like both in the classroom and the at home for the possible distance learning.
Uh, Hi, I'm Michelle Wetlaufer, Mrs. Wetlaufer. I'll be the new upper elementary teacher this year.
All right. Hello, I'm Samantha Melhorn, or Miss Melhorn, and I teach the middle school classroom, so I'll have the 7th and 8th graders with me next year.
Okay, so for the lower elementary classroom, the first thing that I want to talk about is some physical differences that we're going to have this year. One is that the materials that normally we share with each other, we're actually going to have a set of materials for each student. So that will mean that they'll have their own colored pencils and their own scissors and their own glue stick that they'll keep in a basket, and then they'll store their other materials in that basket too. And those will be arranged in the classroom so that they don't have to be very close to each other in order to go get their supplies like they have in the past. So you'll notice that that's different. We're also going to set up the chairs and the tables and the mats in such a way that we provide distance between students when they're when they're working. Um, we're also going to be doing some small group lessons and kind of like learning pods that we're going to create in practice so that we can hopefully then take those learning pods into the virtual realm if we do distance learning and do some live group small lessons, academic lessons via Zoom. And then also, I'm going to be doing check-ins, live check-ins with students and with parents so that we can communicate in real time. That's been, one of the things I thought of last time that we did this last year was that I wanted to be able to have more immediate interaction with the students and with the parents. And so increasing the live Zoom lessons based on those pods that we're going to create will help with that. And one of the ways that I'm going to be creating the pods is based on the parental schedule. So I'm going to need your input and your help with that because at this age, at the lower elementary age, they don't access a lot of the technology on their own. So they're going to need the parents to facilitate their ability to access Zoom and Google Classroom, which is another thing that I'm going to be using. And to prepare for that, I'm going to be communicating with parents via Google Classroom before we do any distance learning. And that'll give us a place to interact and communicate real time and for a place to list any videos that I make so that they'll all be in one location. Um, we're going to continue to use the work plans. They're like a work checklist that will mirror that of the classroom so that as much as possible stays familiar to the kids as we switch locations. Um, I'm also wanting to, in addition to having meetings and check-ins with the students, I want to meet and check in with the parents on a regular basis also in a scheduled format so that I can provide support and problem solving with anything from how to incorporate this into your home life to any sort of issues that you might have so that we can still work together as a team in real time to support your children. I'm also going to have office hours so that you'll know when I'm available if you want to just pick up the phone and call at any point. All right. So I'm going to now pass this over to the upper elementary.
All right, so just like in lower L, I've got some stuff for what we'll be doing in the classroom this fall, when we are back together, and also some stuff for if we do have to transition to digital learning. So in the classroom, one thing that's going to be different from how things were last year, we're going to be working more in small groups. So instead of very individualized lessons, especially in math, they'll be more in small groups. So if we have to transition to digital learning in the year, it'll be easier to do live lessons via Zoom or something like that. So instead of, each individual kid has their own thing in math or other subjects, we'll have little groups they can work with. And in the classroom, they'll start working together with these work partners to be able to better transition to working together in the digital environment. So if they're used to working together in person in the classroom, hopefully it'll be easier for them to work together online if necessary. We're hoping to incorporate the family schedules into these work partners so that, the families, when we transition to digital learning, it's not, incompatible with what you guys have to do at home. That's the goal. We will also be working on teaching the kids Google Classroom. And the whole Google suite. So how to share things in Google Docs, how to access Google Classroom, access assignments, how to ask questions, how they get feedback, how lessons will be posted and things like that. So how they're able to interact with each other through the Google Suite and with me through the Google Suite. If we do transition to digital learning, there will be weekly Zoom lessons that will mirror the small group format we'll have in the classroom. So that's where those small groups come back in, that we'll be able to work together again online in the same way we were in the classroom. And we'll also have weekly check-ins with me, each student individually, 10 to 15 minute check-ins on Zoom or on the phone to be able to focus on what they've done that week, what they need help with, just make sure everyone's doing okay. We'll also do social emotional work at home and at school. Digital learning, social connections with each other so that everyone can still see each other's faces and interact with each other again. Again, the kids will be able to work together via Zoom with their pre-assigned work partners. There'll be collaboration on assignments using the Google Suite. And we'll also do, class check-ins and games and things like that to keep everybody in practice with each other and, not so isolated and alone at home. And we're also hoping to do some work with you guys, the parents, so that you guys can get the support you need as well from us as teachers.
Okay, so in the middle school, one of the major changes is going to be starting off the school year with establishing some of these things in the classroom. So actually giving the students assignments on the Google Classroom while we're still in school, getting them to practice that, handing in assignments, doing work together. The middle school students are used to a math grouping for their live lessons, and so that will continue this next year with the different age groups so that can once again transition to online if needed. And then we'll be also spending some time at the beginning working on establishing expectations for the work routine, the weekly schedule, how to be independent, so that as much as possible, especially with the middle school students, that level of independence that we work on in the classroom can transition to home as well. We'll be working on establishing some of the routines around working with partners and group work so that they can more easily transition that as well. Once we have to go home, or if we have to go home, will be consistent live Zoom lessons that will mirror our classroom's weekly schedule within math as well as the other subject areas. So direct instruction in math will continue, and then also discussions and other lesson activities in the other subject areas. There will be similar to, an office hour type schedule, will be specific blocked off times for students to access me directly or parents to access me if needed. And then the use of the Google Suites will allow me to continue returning work to the students, giving direct feedback very timely so that they can continue to move forward in the curriculum. And one of the other things that, depending on when and where a closing may happen, is to encourage families to also, establish some sort of a learning connectivity between different groups so that the students can help support each other. And then providing those daily lesson plans, checklists, things that the students are used to using in the classroom to move their learning forward on a weekly basis will be put in place through the Google Classroom so that they can use that. And then also provide that communication with the parents so that they know what their students are going to be moving forward throughout the course of the week, allowing us to move the curriculum forward at the middle school level. And then we'll also be continuing the social emotional connections that we work on in the classroom through things like different games and fun activities, as well as encouraging and helping the students to be able to collaborate on their schoolwork, do editing, those types of activities that they're so used to being able to support each other with. So that's hopefully what, if needed, the kind of next year will look like.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing your children in the fall. We're looking forward to working with them both in the classroom and virtually. And we just also like you guys to know that all of this stuff is based on, what we know right now. And we are also ready to be flexible and to be watching the guidelines as they come out and then adapt and then be communicative and let you know how it's going.
Well, we look forward to seeing all of you this fall.
Can't wait to meet you all in person.